Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, April 14th through Saturday, April 20th, as promised. Said I'd be back with it. Here I am. Oh, God, I took out so many cards, and I'm not really sure exactly which ones I'm going to use for the reading, which ones will just be advice. But we're going to try to squeeze all these decks in because I was moved to use them all. First, very quickly, what else is going on this week? Beginning on April 17th at 2:01 a.m., Mercury enters Aries. April 19th at 7:12 a.m., we have the full moon in Libra, the second and I guess final one this year. April 20th at 4:55 a.m., the sun enters Taurus. And also on April 20th at 12:10 p.m., Venus enters Aries. On the Hebrew calendar, on April 19th, at the same time as, while we're experiencing the full moon in Libra, will also be the a feast day called the Fast of the Firstborn, which is in recognition of the angel of death having passed over the homes of those Jewish people who protected their homes with the lamb's blood as instructed. The angel of death passed over, so we call it Passover. And it was at a Passover Seder where Jesus was having dinner with his 12 apostles, friends, or people that he thought were his friends during the Last Supper. It was a Passover Seder. So that's all the stuff that goes on this week. With that, I can get into the reading. If you want to know more about that in detail, those things in detail from me, then you can watch the general reading because that's where I talk about them. Want to know more about it in general? There's, I'm sure, a myriad of places you can go. Beginning with the dice, I'm starting with email, eat cake, and romantic dinner before shaking them up. Princess Cocktail. It's 50-50. And Weekend Away. I'm pretty sure the general reading came up with Weekend Away too. All right, so the cards. I want to show you with what I'm beginning. The Nine of Summer from the Animal Tarot. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. So this is the Nine of Cups, of course. Archangel Michael Oracle cards. Eternal love, open right to it. I was like, okay, Michael, help me to perceive all of the love that surrounds me so that I can feel safe receiving, expressing, and giving love. That's what the Eternal Love card is about. Numerology Oracle cards. Card number 10, Karmic Completion. And I do feel that there are some, again, karmic situations ending this week. Different kinds of karmic situations. Of course, right now we're focused on love. So it would be, in connection to your romantic lives where these karmic connections are, or situations, maybe not the whole relationship, but situations, stages are going to be coming to completion. I saw something like that in the general. I'll talk about it a little bit more in a second. From my fortune tellers oracle cards, the Lovers. There are two paths ahead. Be true to yourself. Soul's Journey cards. Acceptance wants to stay on the table. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. I guess that's an important message for everybody. And coincidentally, has the same colors as the card with which I'm actually starting. Just to show you very quickly, it's not that all the cards do. They're different. This one happens to be yellow and purple and with some green like this one is. Self-esteem just fell out too. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Yeah, so we're starting with relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So this is, of course, about getting away from those who don't. Similarly, past love wants to stay on the table. What's this? Ooh, family. So it could have something to do with family, maybe somebody they prefer for you or trying to get you to stay with. They may represent your past love, and sometimes family members get jealous when you want to go off to be with somebody else, kissing cousins, as they say. You know, you have relatives, sometimes even ones like mother or father, just upset that they're, you know, leaving to be with a mate. So that could, the whole family could be representative of the past love, or this could be like a spouse, perhaps, a former spouse, ex-spouse, some other sort of party of three that's getting in the way that would somehow connect to family and or past love. Possibly a love triangle, but not necessarily. But the card with which I'm starting that I was wanting to show you is dating, which is a very Two of Cups kind of card. And it has this full moon on it. There is also, again, a full moon this week. It's the second full moon in Libra. My angel therapy cards, be willing to forgive. I pretty much start with this card like 90% of the time if I use this deck. It always turns up. Ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. And lastly, I wanted to show you these because these same three cards kept turning up over and over and over. So there's Kali Ma, facing fear, which I think is connected to the karmic situations that are ending. Right? They're going to end by us facing our fear, similar to, you know, Jesus facing his destiny, basically what was planned for him, facing that this week, or at least we recognize it this week. I think that this is sort of, you know, our version. We're going to be going through our own personal versions this week of having to face some sort of fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So it'll be a matter of choice, right? Free will choice. Also the Miriam, of course, there were two Miriams or Mariamas or Marias or Marys, and that is Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, which in my opinion was not only his divine feminine, but, you know, the true leader, head of the apostles, not Peter. She is the first person to whom Jesus revealed himself upon his resurrection. So I think that that's why the Miriams showed up today. Did I read you the Kali fear? Yeah, your chance to soar. The Miriam says, sacred vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. And remember that love has no boundaries. And lastly, Horus, which to me is like the original Jesus, or, you know, the higher vibration of Jesus and the first incarnation of that soul. Cosmic gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. So I thought it was very special that the three of those showed up together today. With that, what are we starting with? I think I'm wanting to do the spread from the masculine's perspective with the Soul's Journey cards. And this will be my first time ever doing that. I think that's why I was pushed to use them today. So again, I'm beginning with relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And maybe that's as a result of growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Also, growth, as I mentioned in the general, this card showed up there too, is important and is happening very much so this week, because Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, is in retrograde in Sagittarius, which it rules. So not only is it doing what it always does and helping us to grow and expand, but it's slowed down in order to do it. Relationships and health. I'll honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. Health is something else that has come up not only this week, but last week too. I was moved to talk to people about health and did during the general reading. Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. This card showed up in the general show. And it's, once again, opening to 2 cards of like the same color scheme, this blue and green and teal together. Happiness. And back to growth. On that note, I'll cut after this. Happiness. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Friendship also turned up in the general reading. And I think that this is another important theme this week because, again, a lot of those people that were surrounding Jesus, weren't necessarily his friends. Not only in general, but, even as it got closer to his immediate circle, the apostles, not all of those were his friends or always his friends. So Judas wasn't his friend at all, right? That completely sold him out, and leading to his murder. And Peter denied him 3 times. That was supposed to be his best friend. So this comes into question. It has been all Lenten season. People have been under severe attack, as they are every year, in my opinion. I talk about it every year since the first year that I was doing this, 2016. But this week, even more so, it's super intense. Overall energy is balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So this card can be tied to that Libra full moon that comes this week on the 19th. The sign of Libra is associated with balance, equity, fairness, an evening of the scales, even playing field. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, somewhere in the middle. And this can also be tied to that card acceptance that fell out as I was holding the deck before, because it is about just that, right? Accepting light and dark as part of a whole. And again, neither, good nor bad. It just sort of is once we reach this place in the middle. Divine feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, himself, the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do, surrender, contribute, whatever word you choose to use, toward the union this week as it relates to love, what he himself is willing to, what the universe would have the two to do, contribute, surrender, and wants them to and wants to help them with, but the couple, the individuals, will first have to affirm to it and the outcome. Divine feminine, change. Wow, so this is really about openness and acceptance, again, balance, being willing to, understand that things don't stay the same, right? If they do, it's because they died, right? But something, and even in death, we're supposed to continue in evolution, right? A flower dies, first it just begins to look brown, and then the leaves dried and they fall off. So even then there's change. But when there's like no movement, you kind of have become devoid of purpose. If there's no movement, there's no evolution. So this is really about acceptance and balance, and knowing that things happen, and good and bad come with it, and maybe it's neither good nor bad. It's all about perspective, and it is what it is, and we learn to continue to flow with those things. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. That's the message. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. So I want you to know what this means, like in relation to love. The dynamic of a relationship, as I think I mentioned, or at least hinted toward, could be changing. And so, or you could be changing. The individuals could be changing. As part of karmic completion, quite possibly. The masculine as it relates to the feminine this week. Regret. I know that I can't change the past. So, expressing sorrow for some things that he now feels, and in retrospect, hindsight, you shouldn't have done. You shouldn't have allowed to happen. Shouldn't have allowed you to do. Maybe should have spoken up. Maybe should have been quiet. Maybe should have, had an exchange with another person, possibly you, but didn't. We can't get that time back. So it's expressing that. Can't get that time back, but we can change moving forward. We don't have to repeat the same mistakes. In fact, that's what karmic completion is all about, not repeating it. It's like we learn the lesson, so we're done with that now, and we move on to the next step. Masculine as it relates to himself. Adversity. I accept the challenges, or accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Aren't these cards like telling a story already together? It's the adversity that causes, and the regret that causes the need for change. Or maybe the change that causes us to regret that we didn't do something sooner in the face of adversity. Masculine's feelings about the union as a whole. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Wow. That's deep and heavy, and it really ties into the regret card too. Overall, guilt. Guilt is why I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So this is about releasing that guilt that had been harbored. Right? We talk about harboring here. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And what is guilt but like resentment of yourself? And Venus moving into Aries is hugely about self-love, self-acceptance, like before anything else. So that might be what's bringing this on. What the masculine would have the feminine do, surrender, again, contribute toward the union this week as it relates to love. Imagination, like you see the big picture, see the future. Here, imagine it, but think about it with me. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Sign of Aries, where Venus is going, very much about creativity on one's own behalf. So it would be like the creative aspect of one's own mind and what that can do for themselves. Fire signs in general, very creative, very passionate. And that's what the fire element is about. But that Aries is definitely a self-centered one. And I'm talking the place of balance, not self-centered as being, consumed with it, although that can happen too. But in terms of balance, it's one that is centered on self. And then, however, the outlets, those creative outlets are expressed. So very much tied into that too. The masculine himself, what is he willing to work on this week? Relationships. And there's an acknowledgement that some people don't serve his, not only don't serve his purpose, but don't serve like the purpose, the higher good. I am attracted to those now, people who serve my higher good. But the universe would have the two to do, contribute, surrender, recognize this week as it relates to love, and wants them to and wants to help them with, but they're going to have to affirm to do it first. Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So this is about, again, perspective and you being able to look at something and see the value in it, even if on surface, like that in the superficial aspect of it may seem like something that's shitty. If you're, something bad, again, coming into balance, neither good nor bad, but this is what is. And I can still be thankful for, the ways that it has blessed me, looking at those positive ways and being thankful that that attitude of gratitude is what enables the energy surrounding you to continue to move in a positive flow, and working within the laws of attraction bring more abundance to you. And the outcome. Wow. Okay. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Okay. The word, the title tripped me up for a second. I'm like, loneliness? That doesn't make sense. But okay, now it's an understanding of even when you're focused on self, you're not alone. And I say it all the time to my clients. I said there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. So there's understanding of that this week. That's really mature of the masculine, that spread. From this perspective of the universe, let's do hashtag creepy deck for old time's sake. Again, beginning with dating. So this Two of Cups kind of energy. An opening to fun times. I like where this is going so far. Fun times. So fun times is like the Three of Cups. Celebrations, being social, just being happy. Joy is also can be about reunions, reconciliations for me. And then opening to passion, which is like a Two of Wands kind of card. It's these two people, it's all this red, this fire. So it reminds me of the card, the Two of Wands. I just talked about how fire signs are passionate and creative. Fun times. Up. But there's the shadow aspect of all the Aries stuff. Control. Control. And the Ice King. So the Ice King can represent for me Mars, ruler of Aries. Because this guy looks like a Martian. He just looks like the Emperor. You know, the kingly aspect of the Emperor. However, I do recognize that it's the Ice King. And so he's also Mercury for me. Mercury, which enters Aries, again, which Mars rules this week. So this card is very representative of them both, particularly right now. Also, of course, it brings in the energy of Leo, fellow fire sign Leo. All three of the air signs, one of which Mercury rules, Gemini. Then Libra, where the full moon will be, and as well as Aquarius, are also the air signs. The other sign that Mars rules, Scorpio. And it is about control as it relates to that kind of Martian energy, that overbearing control, or control of oneself, cutting any cords to other people that may have been, you know, puppeting us around, breaking free. Taking back control of one's own life, ruling it yourself, being the master of your own destiny. Ice King. And brunette, female. So this is the karmic feminine energy for me in this deck. Often a Leo herself, or Cancer, or Cancer, Leo, Cuspian, but certainly does not have to be. Does not have to be at all. I'm going to cut. Oh, she's back. And the overall energy is, in fact, destiny. Divine being or couple. Recent past. Masculine's higher self. Near future. Blocks to individual or coupled progress or union or something. What the feminine can do to help herself in relation to her blocks and whatever. What the masculine can. Again, what the universe would have the two do, but they'll have to first affirm what the universe wants them to do and wants to help them with, and the outcome. Divine being or couple. Freedom. So breaking free of those cords, just like I was talking about. You taking on that position of the emperor, using your weapon to cut those cords away, and you take back the reins. And make your decisions for yourself. Very much focused on self this week. This freedom card has a feeling of the sign of Aquarius to me. However, you know, it's also representative of air in general. We have this woman literally floating in air. And so, of course, Libra And that balance and fairness and justice perhaps also coming into play. Maybe somebody getting their freedom in terms of that, like divorce or, you know, some other situation where somebody was controlling you in a relationship, breaking free of that. And then, of course, Gemini, which is ruled by both Venus and Mercury, both of which enter Aries this week. Recent past, blonde female. So this for me is representation of the divine feminine in this deck. It may have been the feminine more so than the masculine this week that broke away from something or decided to. Or decided she's not going to allow something to control her anymore. Breaking free of that. She may have had some other sort of experience, or the masculine may have had an experience with her. This represents, again, both. With the blonde female this week, maybe getting back into contact, even if it was minor. I'm feeling something about, yeah, some sort of connection with the masculine and feminine this week. It could have even been energetic and you would have seen it in syncs and stuff. But I'm focused very much so on the air that's in this picture. You see the clouds and stuff that's in this picture too. This woman here that's floating away is also a redhead. And she's in the clouds. These clouds in this picture are darker. There's a lot of like gray clouds here, although there's some light in the middle. So it's like there's the balance, right? It's dark here, it's dark here. But here in the middle, we see the light. Something between an air sign and a fire sign also could have transpired this week as it relates to love and maybe freedom, maybe breaking away, or either individually breaking away from other people, perhaps so they could, you know, settle their relationship together, or breaking away from one another. And that doesn't mean necessarily permanent, but just a break. Masculine's higher self. Mature man. So he has this other aspect of what for me is Mars and Martian energy and Aries and possibly Scorpio. And that's the father. But I get a very overbearing feeling from this guy. I just always have. In addition to that, though, more so the balance, the more positive aspects of him are, you know, a father, a husband, or like marriage material, right? Husband material, divorcee, a widower, somebody with children, maybe older, but not necessarily. Maybe just a mature sign, like a Scorpio, for example, which Mars rules. Near future. Courting man. This film feels much lighter, this energy here. Courting man, again, maybe getting together with the divine feminine very specifically, as opposed to a karmic or anybody else for that matter. Blocks to individual progress or union. True gem. So I'm not feeling the true gem is necessarily the actual block, although it can be. There could be a marriage that's a block. And it's crossing, again, this guy, mature man, which I just said for me is like marriage material. He's somebody's husband or something like that. So for some, there's a marriage is in a block. I posted something this week on Facebook. It was something like how long should you date your boyfriend before you tell his wife or something like that. It wasn't that, but it was something like that. And that's what I'm getting from these two cards right now. There's a marriage. It could be an ex. And maybe that's what the freedom is about too. I need to break away from this ex. Like you're not married anymore, but for whatever reason, it's still in the way. And I'm getting that from, this is like representing marriage to me, like an engagement ring, a solitaire. So in that sense, that it can be a block. You can be blocking yourself by not going after your freedom and not standing up to these other people who are butting in that I'm feeling, and pursuing who is your true gem, like your true, truly valuable to you, your true love. You could be letting something else get in the way of that and block you from that. We do have an overall energy of destiny. So like this would be your destiny, but you're allowing something to stand in the way of you, in between you and your destiny. Which it doesn't have to be somebody, a physical person. It could be fear too. That just came. And again, this is a week of facing fear. I started the reading with that Kali card. Facing fear. Somebody wants to get married. Maybe two, specifically a fire sign or air sign, and of the air signs, maybe most specifically a Gemini. And the guy is this, like married type. He's a divorcee or he's a widower, and he's still like clinging to this dead relationship. It could literally be a dead relationship, because I'm feeling the person could literally be dead. And that he's still, like, for whatever reason, clinging to that and not moving on and marrying. He might be the air sign. She might be a fire sign. I keep hearing Capricorn, and Capricorn came up in my other reading too. Maybe it's a Sag, right? Sag. I'm just got chills in my left leg. They might be saying, yes, it's a Sag. Sag/Capricorn. She does have green eyes too, like the earth sign. She's standing in a field. That's what I'm feeling. Of course, that's very specific. That's not going to be for everybody who's watching this reading. But there's a fire sign, maybe very well a Sagittarius. Somebody's maybe the X is a Capricorn. I don't know who the Capricorn is. There's an air sign, maybe Gemini. I think that's the male. And he's so freaking clinging to this relationship that's dead. The person may actually be dead. And or there's a family. That's probably what that family card was about too. Like an ex-wife or something. All right. So for other people, because I got to shake that off. I'm like too caught up in that. It's about pursuit of your own dreams and not letting other things or people control you. Right? Go after what brings you value and joy, right? What serves your higher good. And that's this. And they're possibly an air sign too. And again, possibly most specifically a Gemini. But it doesn't have to be an air sign at all. This can also be showing up because of Mercury in Aries or Venus in Aries this week, both of which rule Gemini. What the feminine can do to help herself, though. Here's the Capricorn card. I should just turn the card over sooner. Work. Put some effort into what you want, what you're pursuing. And yourself. Put some effort into yourself. What does that mean? I guess it's connected to the Venus in Aries. Because again, that's about self-love first and foremost. Self-preservation is the first rule of human nature. Nature is of the earth. And I'm getting chills in my left arm. I think it's both. Putting effort into those things that you want, the relationships, the people, outcomes that you're seeking. And effort doesn't have to mean just harassing them. Effort could be making intentions, praying, trying to manifest your dreams, working on your own individual nurturing and or healing, your own health. And that self-preservation is what's going to help you to get to your desired outcome. Where we put our energy, where we do the work, very Eight of Pentacles. We reap what we sow. But this card also is represented. If you've watched my readings before or you've gotten a client reading from me, you know it pops up. I tell you, I feel Capricorn when I pick it up. So if I had just flipped it over sooner, they would have said, here's the Capricorn that we're trying to show you, that we're trying to tell you about. What the masculine can do to help himself. Ooh, he's got this ex to freaking deal with, or this karmic energy. Karmic energy. Third party. It's an ex. Again, that may be deceased, or like an ex-wife, or a relationship that he's in now, but it's a dead relationship. It's freaking karmic completion already. Like, move on. And guess what's behind this? It's not upside, it's not right side up. But when I picked up this karmic completion card, guess what's behind it? Fucking self-discipline. Isn't that hilarious? And then under that one, love partnership. Under that one, health. And under that one, nature. I mean, I could keep going, but all these words that I just used a moment ago. If only I had looked at the cards instead. The next one is spiritual career. Okay, I didn't talk about that. Isn't that funny? Oh, yeah, self-discipline, self-preservation. The first rule of nature. So, to that, he needs to handle this. He needs to handle this. He needs to cut the cords. He needs to man up. He might need some energy healing. He might need your support in another way. For your prayers. When something terrible happens and you say like, oh, offering thoughts and prayers, and it's like, the Bible and Torah, Quran, the holy books themselves basically explain prayers without work is dead, is what it's called. That may be a message that they were trying to tell me too. That I kept hearing dead. It's dead. Maybe that's the prayer without the work is dead. It doesn't work. You won't manifest whatever you're trying to manifest if you're just praying and not doing anything, not putting any energy behind it. It's like put your money where your mouth is. This is what you're really about. It's what you really want to do. You really want to help to save yourself. You really want to help to save your partner. You're going to have to put some real, legit energy behind that. Especially this week. What the universe would have to do, but they will have to affirm to it in order. Wow. Oh, man, I wasn't ready. But I love this. So the universe wants to help you to come into union with your like true gem, your true love. But you got to do something about this first. And feminine, you got to do something about, yourself first too. You can't just get mad or whatever if you're not putting any energy behind it. If you're not doing anything to make it happen. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, in the 3Ds. Some of this stuff is energetic. It's about healing the energy around you. Smudging, working with crystals. Different forms of energy healing. Self-nurturing. Manicure, pedicure, massage, acupuncture, getting your hair done. Sometimes that comes with a massage. All of these things, you might say, like, what does it have to do with union? It does. It does. Healing the energy around us has to do with all our abundance. With positivity coming back to us. Right? When we feel good and we feel thankful and we feel happy, that attitude of gratitude, that positivity, that's what works within the law of attraction, like the first spread suggested, and continues to bring it around. On that note, outcome. Gifts. So when this happens, when gifts turns up, it can be about growth, maturity, which can definitely be from Jupiter. But it can also be about real surprises and gifts, which can also come from that energy of Jupiter. That's what Jupiter is known for. And it may be specifically an engagement ring, some sort of proposal for a commitment. Maybe not marriage yet, but a deepening of commitment and or spiritual growth from having, you know, separated ourselves from some sort of karmic issue, from having reached to karmic completion that results in spiritual growth. For the feminine, you know, the gift that we get out of reaping what we've sown. I'm getting my reward for the work that I put in. On that note, I think I'm going to now look at my traditional spread, coupled with the numerology cards, to see if we can see more of this zodiac, you know, coming out to show us exactly who or for what reason some things may happen. So like I saw that Sagittarius and Capricorn stuff. All right, so again, I'm beginning with the 9 of Summer, opening now to the 10 of Autumn, which is a beautiful card. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and that your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. 9 of Summer and the Prince of Summer. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. He is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Someone likened to those traits or attributes. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters. So stay balanced. There's that balance again, or the need for it. And make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. But again, most importantly, make decisions that are best for you. Not without consideration of anybody else. Anybody else. You. Just forget anybody else exists for a moment and then make your decision. And then believe that it can come true and it can work in a way that's how prayer works, right? Dreams coming true, prayers coming true, wishes being granted. Believe it, that it can happen. That's how you're going to make the intention and manifest it. 9 of Summer. The Ace of Spring. A wonderful opportunity presents itself. It may come as a surprise, right? Gifts that I said we probably weren't expecting, they may pop up. Maybe even engagement rings and stuff. Or offers of deepening of commitment from the Prince or the Knight of Cups that just was here. So it may come as a surprise, but you'll still want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. You're not going to want to think of ways of why it can't work. Oh, but my kids, oh, my parents, but my this, but my that. This is the part where it involves miracles with the 9 of Cups. Here's the conflict and the people and places and things that will try to get into your way. So don't let them. You have to keep your energy positive. That's the work you got to put in. Your current path isn't leading you toward the highest possible outcome, so why not change it? Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. Again, this is a huge week or period for that, for people trying to take us down completely. 9 of Summer. And so you've got a decision to make, some of you, and again, it's going to be a decision that you're going to want to make in your best interest, no one else's, absolutely no one. Procrastination and worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. You want to work with the energy that's surrounding you, and that is the energy that's surrounding you. That is the energy of Libra, right? So full moon in Libra. Finding balance, letting go of what's holding us back. That is the energy of Venus and Aries. Focusing on self-preservation, self-love, self-discipline first, then everybody and everything else. On that note, I'll cut. Oh, so the other thing that I was meant to tell you guys was that in the general reading, I saw the Prince of Winter. Isn't this funny? I couldn't make this stuff up if I wanted to. I saw the Prince of Winter running this way, quite possibly toward the divine feminine, wanting to like beat someone or something else to the punch or to her, like in a competitive way. It was the Prince of Winter It was the Five of Swords, which we also just saw, as well as the Five of Wands. And that's what gave me that feeling. But also, I had been throughout the reading seeing the King, the Ace, the Page, the Queen of Pentacles, all of them. And attributing it to Virgo and the fact that I believe Jesus is a Virgo. And then I felt something with the Queen here sitting atop. I think it was the Four of Wands. I said, the Four of Wands was one of the cards. Nine of Cups may have been another. The Queen was sitting atop. I don't remember. It wasn't the Four of Wands. It was another one. But I just felt that somebody wanted to leave their house. They wanted to leave. They wanted to leave a relationship, but they felt like they had to get away. They felt like they had to go, but they really wanted to be here. And I said that they want to be in this house or this household. They want to be home. Home is where the heart is, right? And now saying it out loud, I have a client like just exactly like that. Wait a minute. So maybe this message is for her. So if you're listening, you'll know who you are. As a matter of fact, I picked up the overall energy, and the card underneath it was the Hangman. I said the Hangman represents the sign of Pisces. She's a Pisces, and he's a Virgo. And her husband is leaving because of his family. So I also saw that today. Leaving because of his family. And they want him, you know, to go back to his country and be with them and do what they want. All right, so now I'm hearing all kinds of different things, so I'm going to leave that alone. But if that kind of situation that I started to talk to you about is, if anybody else is facing that, you know what? If you're having that and you want to hit me up separately, then just do that. We'll do it that way. So the Prince of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. He is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires your emotion and to make your decisions quickly. So like the decision as to, should I please somebody else or please me? Make the one to please you quickly. And the overall energy is Major Arcana card 13, release in this deck. It's actually death in the traditional tarot. All about letting shit go, you know, and moving on to the next phase of life. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. Major Arcana card death represents the sign of Scorpio. Two cards for the feminine. I don't know why. I think they want to do two here too at the foundation. It's three. All right, I'll put them. Yikes. I don't know what that's going to be. And the heart of the matter. Crowning the masculine, the 10 of summer. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Time to express your love. That may be why, then again, the Knight of Swords went running off. Masculine, surrounded by the Ace of Autumn. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be awarded a fabulous new job or a promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment, or a relationship too. Again, the one that has value, true gem, and of one of which, you know, you are deserving and worthy. And it could be one that you're reuniting into with the Three of Summer in your subconscious. Reuniting or meeting somebody while you're out at a social event, or this is somebody you've met already out at a social event. Knight of Cups just showed up for me. The Knight of Cups is often somebody we already know. You know, we weren't necessarily in a relationship with them already, but we already know them. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, which I just showed you in the last spread, wedding, graduation, or birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. Crowning the feminines, the Six of Summer. You guys know, anybody who's ever had a reading probably, or does any at all themselves, even if it's just for yourself in your own house, you know the Six of Cups is about soulmate connections, especially if you watch me, because that's what I feel they are often. Soulmate connections, past life relationships. We have it here mirroring the Three of Summer. Definitely reunion of some sort. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly childhood dreams are ready to be revived. Yes, this can also have to do with your past in general, your childhood, or for me, often siblings are part of this, attached to this card, siblings, or something going on with your family, your parents. Feminine surrounded by the Queen of Winter. Experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All of your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. The Queen of Winter is a Libra, like the moon this week. A Gemini, which we've seen so much of, again, ruled by both planets that enter Aries this week, Venus and Mercury rather, or an Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, maybe who is cutting off crap that doesn't resonate with her anymore. And in the feminine subconscious, again, we got 2 cards. Ha ha! It is the Eight of Autumn, the Eight of Pentacles, which we just talked about so much. The work card, which I said feels very much Eight of Pentacles, reap what you sow to me. And Major Arcana card 3, the Empress, which represents the planet Venus, ruler of Libra, Gemini, and also Taurus. Here's your earth energy, Taurus. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. Remember the feminine's first card, the very first spread, and I talked about creativity in that regard. Here it is for you. So abundance coming to you in different forms, possibly in the form of a soulmate, possibly that you have been with before in some capacity. But again, you're going to have to put your energy toward that, toward manifesting that, whether that means letting something go or someone go, maybe perhaps even this, like if you love someone, set them free, they'll come back when the time is right, when divine time, or getting something else out of the way that's holding you back, that's preventing you from being able to work things out. Crowning. It is Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. Again, in your own driver's seat of your own life, the master of your own destiny. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies all at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you're receiving. Major Arcana card, the Chariot, is like the ultimate card of victory in the tarot, first and foremost. So this is about hashtag you win, but also is about being in the driver's seat again. You're in command of your own life. You're at the reins. It's also about in modes of transportation, travel. So one person could be visiting the other. Maybe you haven't seen each other in a long time. You're visiting. You could be revisiting in a metaphorical sense, revisiting the situation, maybe of a relationship between the two of you. Somebody could be moving, maybe moving in together. Maybe that's the proposal. Or metaphoric, again, figurative moving forward, which is, this is important for some bunch of us. At the root here, there's 3 cards. Wow. Isn't that something? The 5 of Autumn, the 4 of Autumn, and Ego. Holding on to some lack. You are like insistent here. This is the root. This is the foundation, the root of all the issues. Holding on to something or someone ever so tightly, and that's holding you back. You may feel that you're trapped in a situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth and to break free of negative thinking. So this is you restricting yourself and maybe being codependent upon someone, or in a codependent relationship, allowing them to be codependent upon you in a toxic relationship, maybe even addictive, maybe even involving substance abuse. That's possible. 4 of Autumn is about the same thing, holding on to something too tightly or someone, or maybe they're doing that to you, stifling you. 5 of Autumn is about lack, void, So this is what we've been clinging to. Been clinging to a fucked up relationship, a fucked up situation, living condition or whatever. Clinging to lack. So it's about cutting that off. It's about allowing for new to come in. It's about death to the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore. Finding balance in our lives for work and play, for love and for, you know, other serious matters outside of ourselves. At the heart of the matter, the Seven of Autumn. You've already planted the seeds for what you want to come to you. The planning, resources, and efforts that you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your next steps. So you've started. Now's the time to finish. After the 7 again comes that 8 of Autumn and reaping what we've sown. Let's see what the advice has to say to us. I was going to do some clarification, but I think I've been doing this reading for like an hour already, and so I want to be able to get it up without any issues. I got a lot of advice here. What the hell? I didn't realize I had so many. I mean, I knew I had so many decks, but I didn't realize I had so many decks. You know what I'm saying? All right. From the numerology deck to the masculine, patience. So it's like, okay, now you're awake and you're going to get started. Don't expect to, you know, make it to the end immediately. There's going to be some a need for some patience for the next phase. Once you get started and initiate something, it's going to need some patience for the next phase to play out, and that's okay. Just, you know, divine timing again. Feminine for us, music. So again, where it's just synchronicities in music, which is what I was hearing. I think that was the second spread I talked about that. Some of us will continue to get energetic messages and maybe again synchronicities and sounds that come through music, and that's cool too. Like, you know, don't fret about that. For all masculine, the feminine got it in the general, and now the masculine's getting it in the love reading. Twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based relationship. Yeah, so go after your spiritually based relationship. Let go of the one that lacks and the one that feels like there's a chain attached to you. That's called a karmic. Feminine. Vacuum away fear. Call upon archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. And that's what's going to help you to, again, cut off who you need to cut off, potentially even the soulmate, you know, if you feel you need to do that. Some cases people do, or to release them for a time, for the break, or whatever it is. Vacuum away the fear to do that. Masculine, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, and see the light in the world. That calm nature is going to help you to, you know, vacuum away fear too, and to continue to move forward. Feminine for us, the divine director, intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you're being guided. Happiness is your purpose. From the fortune-telling deck to the masculine, star. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and possibility. Sounds just like your Ace of Autumn and your 10 of Summer that sits here. Feminine for us, from the fortune tellers, coffin. Again, we got to let stuff die. Natural endings abound. Take care with your health. Like, don't let yourself get sick worrying about stuff that is just about change. Just allow the change to happen, the growth, the evolution. Masculine, from Archangel Michael, sense of humor. Thank you for helping me to see the humor in this situation so I can lovingly laugh at human nature. There's that nature again. I'm willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. Feminine for us, your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. Please help me clearly hear, like the music, see, feel, and to know the divine guidance that I have asked for and prayed for is here. Allow me to keep my ego out of the way, so that your wisdom can come streaming through me for my own benefit and for those around me. Masculine, from the soul journey cards, happiness again. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. When you feel good, when you feel like this, you're on the wrong path. Get the fuck off. Seriously. Feminine, for us, purpose. I know what I'm here to do. That's to love. That's to love. Masculine, friendship. I think this is for you to begin with yourself first. Very important for you guys right now. Feminine, for us, fun times. Get out, be social, whether it's with him or it's not. Masculine, Two of Winter. This is about choosing what's best for you. Stop procrastinating. And feminine, joy is what awaits us. The Four of Spring. It's time to kick back, relax, and to celebrate all you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. This is the Four of Wands. This can again represent a deepening of commitment between two people, engagement, marriage. It's about love. It's about love, yes. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the love reading. I'll be back. Moon, clients, all that good stuff. Namaste. Thank you for liking, joining, sharing, and subscribing. Bye-bye.